Actually, it's the first time I'm gonna go live on TikTok and film my episode. So today, if you're on TikTok, bear with me if I'm not reading the comments. But so today I want to talk about, and I just talked about maybe a few weeks ago, post All-Star game, the WNBA, my predictions going into the second half of the season, what teams that I really like and I think that are sleeper teams. And I will say I have to correct myself today with some of the predictions that I have and even some of my sleeper teams. So, and then I wanted to talk about the Rookie of the Year situations and then the trades. All right. So as far as, let's start off with the first thing. First things first. We'll start off with rookies. All right, I think that's an easy conversation. Rookies. Paige Bueckers. This rookie class, I'm going to be honest with you. This rookie class is showing out. And I'm not sure if I expected this rookie class to show out like they're showing out. I will say I have to give a personal apology to my girl Kiki Iriafen. All right? You see my USC jersey up here? I was one of Kiki's biggest critics when she was at SC. All right, SC's my home team. All right, I got kids that play at SC. Juju at SC, my dog. So when Kiki was up there, I'm like, what is happening? Right? And I don't think that system per se fit for her. It's hard going into your senior year and playing in a new system, which should have allowed you all the freedom, and really you've been the 1-2 punch on that team, for her to be so inconsistent, right? So I was one of her biggest critics, like, what is happening? What is going on? But I will say, with all due respect and apologies, because I do like to correct myself, Kiki, I don't think I ever publicly said anything about Kiki, but I have had conversations where I'm like, yo, what the hell is going on with Kiki, with other other coaches. But Kiki has been showing out this off season. Second. So if you're on TikTok, I am recording an episode for my I don't want to say podcast because I don't like the term podcast, but for my basketball conversations, facilitating the culture, Coach Bree. Paige, phenomenal player. We all know Paige was going to do what Paige does. I think if I want to say anything about Paige, Paige is getting better. Paige looks extremely better. All right? Her reading the floor, her aggressiveness, her assertiveness, she asserts herself into the games. And I know that was a thing for me when I used to criticize Paige in college. Like, Paige, why are you giving up that drop coverage midi? Why are you passing up that three? And I know that's something that Gina would also say to her, is like, especially in the playoffs last year, is you need to be more assertive. Like, in order to win a championship game, you have to be that girl. And in order to be that girl, you have to dominate games. So now Paige is on a team where it's just like, what the hell is going on with Dallas? And like I said in my last episode, I think Dallas had, at the beginning of the season, they had a solid roster. I didn't think that they were going to win anything, but I didn't think that they were going to be this god-awful. So, Paige going in there, then they just lost Dijonai, they lost Nalissa earlier. They just waived, what's her face? I can't even think of her name. The big, who hardly played. So, that team is just all over the place. But Paige be putting the team on her back. So, to me, like I said, and I'll continue to say this, I am a Arike Ngumbawale fan. But Paige is that girl on that team. So, as far as that, let me see. As far as that is concerned, I think Paige is doing a phenomenal job. I think she's putting her name at, every game she puts her name in that Rookie of the Year ballot box. But damn, Sonia Citron. And I said this last episode, I've loved Sonia Citron. You can just tell players whose games are going to translate. Like I said, Sonia Citron was inconsistent to me especially towards the end of the season. I feel like that Notre Dame, when they start going on that losing streak, I feel like there was some locker room issues. And at the end of the season, we seen Notre Dame. It looked like it was, I mean, it didn't look like, it was very apparent that they had locker room issues going on. They went from number one and they started dropping. And I think that affected Sonia Citron's game. But I think her game translates as well to the league. So we got her, who's giving Paige a run for her money as far as that Rookie of the Year conversation. But God damn it, Dominique Malonga, okay? At the beginning of the season, y'all was like, she needs to play more. What the fuck? She's 6'6" or 6, however tall she is, 6'5", whatever. She's fucking cold, okay? And I really love her game. Because one thing I always tell people, you cannot buy hype, right? There's nothing you can do. You either got it or you don't. That's either genetics or it's not. So she's coming in there with versatility, shooting threes, 19 years old. Let's not even forget that she's 19 years old. And she is going to be a star for a long time in the league with that game that she has. So I know I'm talking about Rookie of the Year, and I don't think that she's going to win Rookie of the Year. But I definitely think that she's a future Hall of Famer if she stays healthy, and MVP of the league if she stays healthy. But like I said, I love her game. I went to the game, the Seattle versus LA game the other day. I got to see her up close. Her movement, the way that she gets up and down the floor, I really like her game. I think that, they lost that game at the end. I think she fouled De'Erica Hamby on the three-point play. You know, certain things are rookie decisions or mistakes. And I think that, she has to still navigate through those rookie mistakes. But like I said, again, she's 19 years old. Everybody else is like, Paige was a 5-year senior. Not a 5-year senior. A 5-year college player. She tore her ACL, obviously. But she's probably 22, 23 years old. Then you got Dominique, 19. You got Sonia, who's probably 20, maybe 21, 22. Then you got Dominique, who's 19. Kiki, same thing. You got Dominique, 19. So I think that, to me, I love Paige. Paige she's moving her way into she's moved her way into one of my top 5 players. All right, I think Paige, I'm a trainer, so if you're on the TikTok, I'm a trainer, I train. So I look at players, even when I play basketball. So if anybody plays basketball, you should be looking at players who you would like to model your game after. And Paige Bueckers is a player who I look to model a lot of my players' games after. So that's the Rookie of the Year conversation. Now I want to move in. It's not going to be a long episode. Let's see what's going on TikTok. What's up, TikTokers? What's up, TikTokers? Anywho, next conversation. I said I wanted to talk about trades. And sleeper teams. So, I think this would be great. Sleeper teams. My sleeper teams. No, I think I'll talk about the trades. Trades. The first trade we could talk about is Dijonai Carrington. What? Dijonai Carrington to the Minnesota Lynx, who's already stackety act? I already said Minnesota is my team to win. In my last episode, right? I said Minnesota and New York. Those are my top 2 teams because of their versatility and their height. I think not Minnesota. I think New York has more height than Minnesota, but I think Minnesota is by far the best team, especially when the Feast of Colors on the floor. Now we can say this now that she's hurt and her team is still carrying. Her team's still carrying. So when she gets back on the floor, what are we going to have? And then I know everybody wants to talk about the electric slide. So I will talk about the electric slide for a quick second. The electric slide, Dijonai. And I know a lot of people are like, it's not that serious. Boundaries, we have to set, we're in that era of the boundaries, set boundaries. I come from an era like, you don't want to be that person, right? Who everybody has bought in. Because a lot of players on that team that didn't want to do the damn electric slide. But because they wanted to buy into what was going on in an already built system, they did that shit. It's just the electric slide. Nobody's telling you to, do backflips. You ain't even got to do much. Just hit them with the boom, and then that's that. Right? So I think that a lot of people are not taking, like, a lot of people that are commenting probably aren't athletes, for one, right? Because when you're an athlete, a coach wants players who's gonna run through that wall for me, right? So if you're not gonna do the electric slide, then you're saying to me that you're not willing to run through that wall for us. And then your teammates are gonna look at you like you're that girl. You want to be that girl, all right? You got girls in the back who I guess they had beef before. People say beef, like, just because I'm on the opposite side of the floor with you, we beef, we talk shit, does not mean I have beef with you. I've played with many players, and I'm telling you, they played for my rival teams. And I might be like, I can't stand that girl. Because she was good. She was working us. And every time we have to play you, I'm annoyed that we have to play you. Does that mean that I don't like you? That we got some real beef off the court? No, I might even say something crazy to you. As a basketball player, y'all got to understand, we talk to people crazy. So that doesn't necessarily mean I don't like you. So let's get that out the way. All right? So we got the Dijonai trade, Britney Sykes to Seattle. That was a huge trade. And we're going to get to Seattle in a second because I really want to address that Seattle shenanigans, right? There's a lot going on in Seattle right now. And they were one of my sleeper teams, right? Who else got traded? That makes sense. We got some injuries over there in Indiana. Indiana really suffered this season. Obviously Caitlin Clark going out. Then you got an ACL and a foot injury. Injuries, and that's what people don't understand. Like, when we talk about these schedules, right? The Sparks just played, I think, 5 games in the last 8 days. And then I had, like, even a friend say, Cameron Brinks played 5 minutes yesterday. Well, Cameron Brinks, you could probably see, I came off 2 ACL injuries myself. So 5 games, and I've never had to play 5 games in 8 days. So her getting 5 minutes yesterday, that doesn't mean anything to me. That doesn't mean, like, anything to me. Cameron Brinks in these last few games has been looking like Cameron Brinks. And my homegirl be like, oh, she be fouling. She be hacking. She's always been a hack. Whatever. She's a dog. I don't care for damn. If you're going to hack, if you're going to foul, it better be a hack. So we got Cameron Brink back. So that's a big pickup again for LA. Odyssey Sims, which is one person who I said going back to Indiana. I was on somebody's live the other day and we were talking about who should Indiana pick up, and a lot of people wanted them to pick up Zia Cook. And I don't think that would have been a good pickup, honestly. And I know everybody loves Zia. I've been following Zia since she was in high school, so I don't have anything to say about her besides her game has to continue to translate to the WNBA. So she has to continue to work on her game because she does have one of those flashy games, and she's a smaller guard. So, like, I know I am and still am going to be a critic of Malaysia Foali. But the thing about Malaysia is that Malaysia is tall. She's like 5'10", 5'11", something like that. All right, so that game that she has can still translate, right? Even though Enrique, right, is 5'8", but crazy, a beast. So I think that's all we have on the trades that are worthy mentionables. I know a lot of people are going into free agency next season, so it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen in free agency in this next season. In this off season. But lastly, to mention what's really going on out here in these WNBA streets, I want to talk about My sleeper teams. So I already said a little bit about my sleeper teams. It's hot as a mother lover in here. I ain't gonna lie. So I want to talk about my sleeper team. So earlier I already said last episode, my sleeper teams was LA Sparks, Seattle Storm. Seattle Storm, we'll get to you in a second. But my Los Angeles Sparks, baby. I mean, look at that roster. We got Aziaha, and people talk about the bench. What are we talking about? We got Aziaha, we got Cam, we got Kelsey, we got Lou, we got Alaman, we got Rakia, we got Hamby, we got Ray Burrow. That's 8 players. That's 8 solid players. Only 5 can start. So 3 solid bench players. That's all you need. That's all you need. I think Ray can have her productivity is inconsistent. My thing with the LA Sparks though are we going to be able to keep this team together? I think I had a friend that said, we have all of the same player. Right? We have a lot of the same player. We have a lot of the same player. Right? The versatility, right? When we talk about the versatility, we have a lot of the same player. But I love it. My thing is that I know that if some of these players can probably go to different programs and make an impact, right? Be probably premier players on those teams. I do think that we're missing a little bit. I've already said this in my last episode. I think that we're missing that presence from a big as far as being able to go up against the Jonquel Jones efficiently, right? But I think that we also can stretch the floor out good. So I got people that talk to me and they're talking about we're not utilizing our bigs correctly. Like let's talk personnel. De'Erica Hamby is not a back-to-the-back player. Aziaha Stevens, effectively, right? Efficiently. Aziaha Stevens, since I've been watching her, has not been a back-to-the-back player. She likes to shoot. So putting them in positions where we're talking about playing inside out, those are not inside out post players. This is not Jonquel Jones. This is not Camila Cordorso. All right? And then you see even Angel Reese, when she's able not play back to the basket, she's more effective. So personnel-wise and in our system, I think our system is great for what we got. We're number 3 in points per game and 3-point percentage behind the Minnesota Lynx and New York Liberty. So we're right where we need to be in those categories. My thing is defensively, I don't know if we can match up well with teams like Minnesota or New York Liberty. But if we can creep our way into that playoff spot, I think that we can beat some teams. And we have been whooping them, but we've been beating teams. We've been doing that. Right? Just went double overtime with Seattle. Like I said, I was at the game on Sunday wishing that it would have went into overtime so I can get my money's worth. But ended up beating them by 3 points. Beat New York, lost to New York. And then who else did they play? A couple other teams, right? So they've been on a winning streak. They lost 2 games out of that streak. So since the post-game season, since the post-All-Star run, we've been doing good. So I'm excited about that. Now, Seattle, who was my second sleeper team. What the is going on in Seattle? All right, all the drama. So what I've been seeing is the drama. The Alicia Clark requesting a trade. And I was never like a huge fan of Alicia Clark, but she is a solid veteran who knows basketball. So seeing her request a trade and then seeing why she requested a trade. All right? And let's look at that. Let's take a look at that real quick. The other one's on my TikTok, so I can't really take a look at that one. But verbal altercations with teammates led to Alicia Clark's trade request. And then if you go on TikTok, you'll see that it was some locker room altercations. And I mean, even going to the game the other day, I'm a person, like, I like to sit behind the bench so that I could see what's going on in the huddle. I could see the players, I could see the coaches, because I'm a coach, so I'm learning. I do that so that I can learn. I do that at USC games when I can, and whatever games I go to. I do that so I can see how the coach is coaching, how the players are responding to the coaching, how the players are interacting with one another. So when I go to the game, I'm seeing people coming off the court. Gabby Williams, Skylar Diggins, etc. coming off the court just rah, 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 rah. Just mouth. Nothing but mouth. Nothing but mouth. And it's all to this one particular coach or one of their personnel. I don't even know if he's a coach. Just going in. And it wasn't nothing like pleasant. Alright? So I don't know what's going on over there in Seattle. They said locker room, verbal altercations. Now you got people in the comments talking about Jewel Lloyd requested a trade. Lee, the one in the Chinese girl in Dallas requested a trade from them. All same reasons. I don't know about Lee, but I know Jewel Lloyd said she was being bullied. There was rumors that she was being bullied. I don't know about Lee. Now you got Alicia Clark. All right, so speculation. I don't really like to speculate, but you have to in these situations kind of speculate. Who would it be? All right, you only could think about, like, I'm on the outside in. So who would be the people or person who's mouthy on that team? And I'm not here to talk about my girl Skylar Diggins. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm very biased. I am a Skylar Diggins writer, okay? I love Skylar Diggins. I grew up on Skylar Diggins. I grew up in the same era of playing basketball as Skylar Diggins. So I understand, like, the passion, the aggression, right? Sometimes it does need to be, it's counterproductive. So I also do understand that. And I'm not saying that it's Skylar Diggins. I'm saying that the speculators are speculating that it probably is. And I can't disagree. I'm not agreeing, but I'm not disagreeing. All right? I think emotional management is important when you're a basketball player, especially in this era. So I learned, even as a coach in this era, like, it's certain things you can't say, it's certain ways you can't coach. And it's like, for me, I had to compartmentalize all of that. So I'm still trying to figure out how to be successful in this era of fucking crybabies. That's what I'm going to call it. Crybabies. A bunch of crybabies. All right? And this is what I will say. If you want to get my little gossip take, right? Jewel Lloyd, I knew something wasn't right. They went down the locker room and said, they was asking players who are their favorite warm-up songs or whatever. Who do they listen to when they warm up? Skylar Diggins, Nuck If You Buck, Boy, Nuck If You Buck, Boy, Nuck If You Buck, Nuck, 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 Nuck If You Buck. So I could feel that, right? That's, you're getting ready for a game. You turned up. So I get that. Then you got Jewel Lloyd come out. They ask her. She says, anything Bieber. Justin Bieber? Jewel? No wonder. No wonder, Jewel. No wonder. You have been playing so goddamn soft this season and last season. Right? And then they say Mamba. Gold Mamba. I'm going to be honest, Jewel. I love you. I do. Jewel, you have been one of my top 10 players and top 5 for a long time. You have definitely moved out of that top 5 in the last 2 seasons. But Justin Bieber tells me everything that I need to know about you. And when they said Jewel Lloyd was being bullied, I'm like, Jewel Lloyd, she don't, like, you know, you're looking at persona, like, ain't nobody bullying Jewel Lloyd. Then she came out and said she was bumping Justin Bieber. I said, oh, she definitely getting bullied. Respectfully, right? But like I said, going back to what I'm saying is, I come from an era of basketball where if your teammates are not performing, you can tell your teammates, hey, what's up with you? You getting cooked out there. Do you need a switch? If you say that in this era of basketball, players will be upset. I simply talk to my players, like, jokingly, because nobody can, you know, well, nobody can take a joke either, but also nobody can take accountability. So I'm like a player's coach, or I try to be a player's coach. And it's like it's like a lose-lose situation out here. So when y'all say Skylar Diggins is the problem, I look and I see how Skylar Diggins interacts she's been consistent her whole career. I'm gonna be honest with you. Since she was in college, she's been this player. Right? She wears her heart on her sleeve. That's one thing that I love about her. But what I will say is, if it's becoming a locker room issue, right, then that's an issue. But I think her biggest thing is, like, she wants to win. She's had 2 pregnancies and a torn ACL, and she's still an all-star. She's still performing at the highest level. And consistent as a motherfucker. So, I try to look at the mind of a player. So when I see things or hear things like that, right? And then I look at the reputation of the player. I look at the history of the player. 2 pregnancies, a torn ACL. You goddamn right, y'all asses better be performing. Because if I'm out here performing, your ass better be performing. So that's the only thing that I can think of when it comes to Skylar Diggins is, you motherfuckers have no excuses. You don't have an excuse to underperform. And I'm not saying that's what it is. Because Skylar, I also have to be realistic. When I watch Skylar, she be tripping. She be tripping about it. She got a technical the other day. She got a technical from the bench. She was on the floor, bumping her gums to the ref about, you know, and to me, like, in the first half, as a coach, I have to understand, in the first half, refs are gonna call the game tight. And in the second half, they're gonna play. That's the trend. So if you understand the trend, then you understand the trend, right? So, you know, she might be complaining about some fouls being missed, not being called, whatever. So she comes to the bench and it's just pop, 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 pop. I'm like, I'm not even paying attention to her. I'm looking at the game and he turns around and he's pop, T, you got a T. And I'm like, damn, she ain't shut up. She was on the bench for like 2-3 minutes at this point. So she just been talking. Every time he came down, she's just talking shit. All right, and it doesn't seem like, my thing about it is, when she's off the floor, it's like somebody has to be able to manage that, right? As a teammate, as a homegirl, etc. Somebody has to be able to manage that. So I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't know the behind the scenes exactly what is going on in that locker room and what exactly transpired. But the crowd is saying it's Skylar. That's it. That's all I know. Right? But like I said, I did see Gabby Williams tripping that game too. And watching the game on TV, I've never seen Gabby show any real emotion. But when she came off that bench the other day, her ass was tripping. And I ain't never seen that personality from her. So, it could not have been Skylar. It could have been other players. We don't know these people. Like, we don't know what's going on in those locker rooms. Right? We're just spectators. What I will also add is that, you know, a friend of mine, Britney's played, 2 games? Britney had 20, busted our asses for 27 the other day. She was cooking. Britney Sykes cooking. So my friend's like, you know, Gabby might have been tripping because her minutes have gone down since Britney played. She only played, up to that point, she only played 2 games. So has her minutes really gone down? I could say since her All-Star break, she's kind of been underperforming. So maybe that's why her minutes have gone down from what I see. Because I try to catch every Seattle game because, like I said, Seattle was my sleeper team, and now the Sparks are my sleeper team. So, like again, post game, my predictions are still my predictions as